Hello, welcome back to my channel. Of course, it's me, Sonali Ray, also known as Chris. Um, if you haven't already, of course, like and subscribe. Today, we're going to talk about the environment of MSC, specifically for women. Okay, so if you're not a woman, especially a black one, you can probably sit this one out unless you just want to know what it is. Okay, so um, we're gonna talk about social media and the command. Okay, y'all, it is. I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what happened to me. I'm only going to talk about one particular situation. There was this guy who I had not sailed with personally, had not met personally, do not know personally, right? Um, he friend requested me. And because we had some mutual friends together, people that I actually had sailed with, that I did have a good rapport with, that I was cool with, I was like, all right, I'm going to let him be my friend. We work for the same company, shipmate, whatever. So he was my friend for a while, like photos, commenting here and there, all sorts of stuff, right? So I was comfortable with letting him be my friend because I noticed he had a lady on his arm. Good. That means you won't probably bother me, All right. And you'll know why I said that in a minute. So time went on. I don't know how long he was on my page. I think he was on my friend's page for at least a year prior to what happened. So I would say Christmas happened in 2016. There's a reason why I said that. He comes in and he gives me these compliments. Hey, I think you're pretty, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, da, da, da. I like you, and I'd like to get to know you better. So immediately no in my mind. But I was like, okay, you know what? Thank you so much for the compliments and the attention. And I was like, well, don't you have a beautiful lady on your arm? To me, that was my safety net. So he was like, yeah, but it didn't work out. We broke up. And I was like, I'm so sorry to hear that. I was like, unfortunately, I don't date people in an outfit, right? I don't do that anymore. It's not something that I'm comfortable with. But thank you. So I said that to him, in a little exchange. And I thought that was enough. I thought that was good. I didn't say, ugh, or ew, I didn't do any of that. So he didn't like that much, to a degree where he got mad and wrote this long paragraph full of run-on sentences and subject verb. But anyway, he wrote this long paragraph, and he was angry. He's like, it shouldn't matter where I'm from or what school I went to, and da da da, for you to date me. He said it from a place of entitlement, as if I owed him something because he was physically attracted to me. I should also mention that he had never physically saw me in person. All he saw was what I post and divulge on social media, specifically Facebook. So he got pissed. And I'm not sure if I responded or not, but he ended up deleting me. So in my mind, cool. That's just one less crazy person I gotta go be around, because who gets that mad off of rejection? Stay with me. Don't go anywhere. So March 2017, a friend of mine who is a sailor as well got approached by a guy, and she calls me. She was like, that guy who got mad at you last year, I'm gonna send you this photo. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm waiting for the photo. I get the photo, and I was like, yeah, that's him. She said, girl, do you know he came in my inbox and got mad at me and went off on me because I told him I don't date people in the outfit. We affectionately call MSC the outfit. It's the most of a bunch of us, not everybody. And I was like, yeah, that was him. I was like, crazy, right? She said, yeah, he went off because I told him I don't want to date anybody in the outfit. Also, at that time, I was in a relationship with someone shoreside. Okay, so there was that. So fast forward, same year, September, I was on a military installation overseas. Okay, and once you sail, or if you've been sailing, you know that when you get to a place that has a commissary or some sort of retail that has some things that you both need and want, like comfort items and things like that, you are so excited to get off that damn ship and get there and buy what you want and eat something that's familiar. So this particular place had a commissary, a Next, because this is Navy. It was outfitted with a lot. Taco Bell, stuff that I wouldn't even touch in the States. I would eat there because you get tired of ship food, okay? So I had gone to the store, bought way too much, and I was sitting in the food court. because they had Wi-Fi there. And all I wanted out of life at that time was to talk to my boo thing, if you will, and to touch bases with my family and say, hey, I'm okay. You know, I'm doing this, and that. So I'm sitting there and I am on the phone call with my mom at the time. I hadn't even made it to my boyfriend at the time. So I was on the phone with my mom and I was like, I saw this guy, but I wasn't sure where I knew him from, because remember, he had never seen, this particular crazy guy had never seen me in person, and I had never seen him in person, but he automatically recognized me from a photo and comes up to me, and he's a big guy. Like, I'm a big girl. I'm pretty tall, you know, I'm out here, but he's a bigger guy, and he's a man. Okay, let's just he's a man. So this guy comes up to me, he was like, don't I know you? And I was like, I'm not sure, I don't know. Hoping that if I say that he'll just keep going, you know. Well, that didn't happen. So as I'm trying to ignore him, he comes up and he was like, I know who you are, and he starts saying my name. And I'm like, so I was like, hi, trying to be cordial, if you will. And he got upset that I wouldn't hug him. I was like, I'm not into people touching me. Don't touch me. And he got upset I wouldn't hug him. So that turned into him, I was sitting at a table, right? Again, we're at a food court. That turned into him coming and going off on me. He literally left my table and came back and went off on me. And you would think he knew me personally. He was like, you out here to mess with these dudes that don't care enough for you. Now a real man want to be with you, that I only want to uplift you and be around you and make sure you good, and you don't even want it. I was like, sir, why are you even talking to me? I don't know you. I have never wanted a military police officer to walk by with those M16s or M14s so bad in my life, but it didn't happen. So he left the table, and then he came back arguing and starting another fight again, and then he left, and then he did it again. He did it so much, my mom was like, put the camera on him, let me see him, let me see what he looks like. I'm like, Mom, what you gonna do? From way across the room. I'm just saying, you know, he's wrong about it. And he was definitely wrong. He did this about 5 times, right? So he hurled as many insults as he could come up with best of his little ability, because you ain't about to piss me off. I'm not upset. I don't want you, and that's why you're mad. So he got upset, said as many small things as he could to try to get under my skin, and it didn't work. But he kept trying to like hug me, and I was like, stop trying to touch me. I don't want to be touched. Leave me alone. And sometimes, ladies, if you're listening, you will run into people like that who don't respect boundaries. But don't you waver on your boundaries because somebody is not smart enough to let no be no. Okay? That's important. But I digress. So he got so enraged, and then he finally came up. He's like, well, the last time he came, because he did come about 5 times. He kept coming, going off on me, leaving, coming, going off on me, leaving. And then he got to a point where he would talk to the patrons in the food court who obviously don't know me, right? And he's like, hey, you see that girl over there with the black dress on and blah, blah, blah. You know, that her name is blah, blah, blah. Make sure if you see her, you know, if you just see her around, just go say, hey, because that's her name and that's who she is, that girl right there. Telling complete strangers who I am. Which is why I don't really go by my name anymore, because that's creepy. So I was debating with whether or not I was going to tell. And let me tell you something. If you are a woman out here, I get how people like to keep their head down and nose down because of certain situations and certain regimes. But if I could offer you any other gem in addition to everything else that I've given you, say something. Say something. Speak the fuck up. Excuse my French, YouTube gonna get me for that. But say something, because you don't want to get in a situation where the first thing they're gonna say was, why didn't you tell us anything? Well, how come you didn't say anything? That is definitely a tactic that they use. Well, why would you wait so long? Well, how come you didn't say something? And also, legally speaking with EEOC, you only have about 54 days max, or I think it's 45 days to report any wrongdoing. So if I were you, trust me on this one, you say something soon. Do not wait, because that's exactly what they want you to do. But anyway, back to the story. I reported it. It took me a day or two. And even after the 2-day mark, my captain was like, well, why didn't you say something when it first happened? Well, let's see. It was nighttime. I came back to the ship after at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Would you really want me to come to your office at night and say, knock, knock, knock? Excuse me, Captain. There's this guy that was harassing me at the food court and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I could have, but I talked to him. I'm going to block out. I'm gonna show you the letter that he wrote me. I'm gonna block out his name. Well, I'm gonna try to. black out his name and my name. But basically, I told my captain, my captain approached his captain. And then the day later, my captain came to me and was like, you know, I issued a restraining order against him. He cannot talk to you. He cannot communicate with you ever again. I was like, all right. And I'm thinking to myself, I thought restraining orders were only issued in a court of law, but I'll play along. You know, I'll act stupid. As long as he stays away from me, okay? So I'm going to read the letter to you first. So this will happen. So that happened that day. The very next day, I get called back down by the captain again. He was like, hey, Crystal, I would like to hand deliver you this letter from him. You know, he insisted that he gave it. So they put it in this little piss poor envelope, right? So the guy wrote an apology letter, the most pathetic shit you've ever heard. And it says my name, and then it says, I would like to say I sincerely apologize for the recent incident that took place between us. I never intended on making you feel uncomfortable. I take full responsibility and promise you that that it will never happen again. Best wishes to you. And then he types his name, and then he signs his name, and then he dates it. Okay? He didn't really. Somebody helped him write this. Because it's short, it's to the point, and I'm sorry, but he never said, I'm sorry for coming to you saying this. I'm sorry for coming to you doing this. I'm sorry for, you know what I mean? And that's a protective mechanism too. And I'm only telling you this because had I known better then, I would have taken a completely different route than just telling my captain who was just smoothing things over. Because nobody wants it to get back to the command that they can't govern or protect their crew on their ship, because the command is now holding captains more accountable for everything that goes down. There's a saying that says the captain goes down with the ship. That's a fact. So here's the letter. I'll let you guys read it. I'm going to take it. Try to hide his name because, well, I don't necessarily have to hide him, but I don't know if you can see that. If you guys subscribe to my Patreon that I haven't gotten up yet, I'm going to post all of this stuff, but look at the date. Oh, I said it was October. I said it was September. It was actually in October. Huh. So, that's a horrible, I have to really upload that. Wait till I get my Patreon and all this stuff together. But these things do happen. Now, I have way more stories. Some a little lighthearted, sometimes a little darker. But again, the purpose of this channel is to make sure that you guys have I want it to be a situation that you know what you're coming into full throttle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be in a situation where you're just like deer in headlights. Oh my God, what am I supposed to do? Because people aren't going to necessarily tell you. That's just the truth. We do have unions. I've had a personal exchange with the unions, and on a personal note, I don't feel like you should deal with them, because if you are, and this, I digress, it had nothing to do with this video, but it's just something on my heart to tell you. If you are within the first year, it's not likely they can necessarily save your job. They have been known to do it, but it's not something that's consistent, and it's not something for everybody. In this particular situation that I'm thinking of, he just got lucky. Those kids just got lucky. It is easy as hell to get into some drama in MSC. Super easy. And sometimes it's not so easy to get out. And a lot of times you yourself didn't even want to get in it. You know, it just kind of shows itself. So it is really important to pay attention to all the videos that I say before this one. Because when you get into a certain situations and you don't know how to get out of it, and you're at the mercy of someone else, understand that you put yourself in that situation because you have all the tools now, especially if you're following here, that will help you. What would be a good alternative to the union? Well, you need to protect yourself. That's why I always tell you to protect yourself. And protecting yourself sometimes looks like a letter to the higher ups, as long as it's written a certain way. Okay? So protecting yourself looks like hiring competent attorneys, because that gets you farther. Protecting yourself looks like everything that I said in the other videos. So I'm gonna end this one because it's a little bit longer than I anticipated. But if you are interested in communicating with me outside of this channel, remember how I said how to do it. You can email me. I do have a Cash App. We can work something out, even if you are already in it. Like, I am very knowledgeable about a whole lot of stuff. And as this channel continues, hopefully I'll be able to continue the channel, because I gotta leave and go to work just like you guys do. We can just figure this out. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I gotta stop uploading these videos so late. But have a wonderful day if you're seeing it at daytime, and a wonderful night if you're seeing it at night. And I will see you guys next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.